I'm an entrepreneur and I have crossed six figures this year. It is Friday, August 16th, and as of shooting this video, I have done over 100K in total revenue, total cash collected for my business in exactly 7 months. Today wasn't the day that I hit it. I hit this in July. And before I go into lessons, because I'm going to share with you actually some really big lessons that I believe you can learn from this and that can set you on your journey towards freedom, your journey towards creating the life that you want. It's up to you if you want to use these lessons or not. They're not going to just be easy to apply, but if you follow these steps, you will be able to create success. And I want to make it clear I'm far away from where I want to be. Like I have way further to go, but I want to show you some proof. Just so you see an idea. I'm not going to show you every single bank statement that I've had, but I'm going to turn on my screen recorder. You see I'm here on my phone, live, real. Can't swipe, but yeah, you see I'm on my phone because I believe proof is everything. So I'm starting a screen recording, and I'm going to show you in my accounts one of my statements, the statement we had for July, so that you can see. How do I go to the statements and documents? And then if you look at statements for the business account, you can see July, open as PDF. Where are we? There we go. You can see that we deposited 16,882. That was my month in July. And in June, I did, what did I do in June? I think I did, June we had a shit month. We did 6K. But then there was another account where I did a lot more than that, I think. But yeah, June we did 6K in this account. What is this? May was 7.3 in that account. And then April, 14, right? So we're doing well. I'm not going to keep going. I can go farther and farther, but we've crossed the 100K mark. And this is across several different opportunities. So this is from my sales consulting services where I help business owners build out sales systems and sales processes. This is also from me closing and closing deals myself. And from that, I've done 10 to 15K consistently for the last several months. Now I'm not closing sales anymore. I only close for my business. And then is my business, my primary business, which is training sales professionals on how to make more money and how to close more deals. And in that business, this account that I just showed you is linked to that business. So the sales that we made from that, you can see them coming in there. So the other months like May, June, whatever I showed you, there was extra income coming into other personal accounts. So totaled over 100K as of today. I think we're at 105,000 110,000, something like that for the year. And the reason why I'm sharing this video with you is because I know that right now you're doing whatever you can do to make money. Like that's probably why you're watching this video, because you see me in this journey. Maybe you've looked at my YouTube stuff, or maybe you're seeing me for the first time and you're trying to make money. You're trying sales. You're trying to be like or watch creators like myself to learn the information, the tools that are going to be required for you to make money. And you are putting in the work. So this is a video for those who are putting in the work. If you are not putting in any work and you're just sitting like mentally jerking off to information online and just scouting around and not doing anything, this is not for you. But if you're in the grind right now, if you're in the journey, if you're a sales professional, if you are someone who is grinding and who is hustling toward his dreams, if that is you, then this video is for you. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how you can make really good money the way that I have. I'm on track to do over $200,000 this year. And for a fact, by next year, I'm going to push seven figures. And we're on track to do that based on things we're putting into the business. So I want to share with you exactly how you can do that in your life. Now, there's a very simple rule that I'm going to introduce you to, and it's something that I call the rule of one. Okay, the rule of 1%. It means that you should become so good at doing one very, very valuable thing that you are literally top 1% in your skill set. That's the rule of one, okay? And I live my life by this rule, and I'm going to explain to you exactly how I've gotten to this point. You want to become so good at doing one very valuable thing that you literally become top 1% in that skill set. And don't let top 1% scare you, okay? Don't let it scare you. But again, understand what this means. You're so good at doing one very valuable thing. So it's not just that you're so good at something. It's not like, oh, I'm so good at juggling, or I'm so good at I don't know, like chugging beers, which you shouldn't be doing, but you know, it's not that. It's I'm so good at one thing that's very valuable and that can give me a lot of leverage in my career, that can give me a lot of leverage in the marketplace, in business, that you literally become top 1% in that skill set, okay, where you're top 1% there. And I'll explain to you the math of how this works. So there's a bit of math I want to present to you. First things you have to understand, this is why 1% shouldn't scare you. 70% of people doing anything, any skill set, are going to be below average. So we'll use sales as an example because I am in sales. I was a remote closer for a very long time. I still do remote sales. I train people in remote sales. I help business owners build remote sales systems to work with remote sales professionals and make a bunch of money doing it. So I'll explain remote sales. So 70% of people in remote sales are below average. If you look at, let's say, 100 sales professionals, 70% of them, 70 of them suck. That's a fact. Like, I've trained a lot of sales pros. I've watched calls from many sales pros. Most people in this space suck. Okay, and I could apply this to any other skill set. Let's use something like basketball. I'm a big fan of basketball. I love sports. I'm a huge fan. So let's say something like basketball. If you take 100 random people who have played basketball at some point in their lives, okay, it doesn't mean I'm not talking professional basketball players, but 100 people who are like, I've played basketball, I like playing basketball. 70% of them are going to be below average. No joke. Like 70% of them are going to be below the average skill set that will be required to be decent, okay? Then you have 20% of people, this is the next level, 20% of people are average. We'll go back to sales. So in sales, if you take 100 sales pros, 20 of them are going to be like decent. Like they're going to be okay. Like, yeah, you can close some deals. You're not bad. As I'll give you an example of this. I recently hired for an offer that I was consulting on. There's an offer I was helping to build, and I hired for this offer. And I put out a post like, hey, does anyone want to work on this offer? I put this post out on social media and was like, hey, I'm hiring a closer who can do this offer. And I interviewed like 6 people for the offer. Out of all the 6 people I interviewed, there was only 2 people that I would have even considered giving the job to. Like genuinely, there was only 2 people that I would even consider like giving this job to, because everyone else, 4 out of 6, were super below average. They were so below average in terms of skill set. So those two guys that I interviewed, they were decent. One of them was pretty good. The other one was okay. And I didn't give either of them the job. We ended up filling the position with someone else. But like, imagine this. If you're in a pool of people that are interviewing for a job, 7 out of 10 of those people are going to suck. That's the fact. And there's a bunch of reasons why, and I'm going to explain to you why in a second. And 20% of people are going to be average. Average meaning they're okay. Maybe they can close a deal here and there, but they're okay. 10% of people are going to be good. That's the other part of it, all right? So 10% of people will be actually good. And actually good means where you're very competent, where you can lead, where you can close deals consistently, where you perform, where you're hardworking, and you can bring deals over the line. That's going to be 10% of people. Now, in order to get into the top 1%, you just need to be in the 1% out of those 10. It's easy. It's not easy. It's simple, right? And it can be easy if you put in the work. It becomes pretty easy actually over time. But think of that. If there's 10 people out of a group of 100, and you're like the top 1 or 2 out of those 10, and out of that group of 100, 80% of them, or 90 of them, excuse me, are mediocre or poor, you being in the 10% just means that you're great. You're good. It doesn't mean that you're best in the entire world necessarily, but you should become top 1% at what you do. And this is how I made my money. And I'm going to give you the entire roadmap. I'm going to give you the entire process. The way I did this was in sales. I became top 1%. And I'll tell you how you can do this too. In 2023, I had a big falling out with my business partner. I was a dating coach. I was helping men learn how to attract women, work on their confidence, work on their communication skills, work on their leadership skills, all the above. And I was doing really well. The business was marginally well. We started having some really good success, and then I brought on a business partner who was a good friend of mine, and then things didn't work out. It didn't work out for a bunch of different reasons. I think we were both at fault. There's things we just missed. We could have done a whole lot better, and we didn't end up doing well. We made basically no money. We fell out. It just ended. That was it. It dissolved. And in 2023, I hit rock bottom. Like I literally hit rock bottom. Emotionally, I hit rock bottom. Financially, I hit rock bottom. In fact, I'm gonna pull this up here. I'm gonna show you guys a picture that I saved to my phone. This is so funny. Where what folder do I have this in? Oh God, it's in my hidden folder because I didn't want to like remember it until it's time. I have a notification in my in my calendar because I'm going to make a video about this soon. But I have a screenshot here of my bank account on September, when is the date here? September 13th, 2023, the same account I just showed you, which is our business account where we process business stuff, our business payments. And my holy shit, I'm staring at it. I'm at $112. Could make it closer. Don't know if the screen will focus into it or not. There we go. Slowly focusing. But you can see that says $112.18. So that was me. Come back into focus, camera. That was me in September of 2023, right? And I had already gotten into sales at that point, so this wasn't necessarily when everything started to collapse, but that was really me just feeling the pressure of the previous months of things having gone terribly. That was our business account. $112 was what I had in my business account. So what happened was I literally hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom emotionally. I hit rock bottom financially. I hit rock bottom um, in every way possible mentally. I was in a really, really bad spot. So what I decided to do is I decided to go all in on myself and all in on my skill set. And that really was the only thing I could do. I mean, I could have just, I guess, kept trying and walked away or something, or gone into a depression or given up in terms of the whole journey and gotten a standard, 9 to 5. I could have done that, applied for consulting jobs, but I decided to go all in on my skill set. I decided I'm going to learn and I'm going to master sales. And here was the thought that was in my head. I chose sales and I determined, and this happened mid 2023, right before that screenshot that I showed you. So like early to middle 2023. I determined that I would become the best person that I personally knew at sales, right? I decided that I was going to be the best person that I knew at sales personally, that no one would be better than me. I decided that I would do everything that it took to be literally 1% in my skill set, and there would be no one who could be better than me that I personally would know at sales. Okay, and I end up getting a remote closing job, and I'll make a training later on how remote closing saved my life. And I invested in a sales training program. Shout out to my mentors in sales. Shout out the people in the objection box. Shout out to Jeremy Myna and APQ for instilling a lot of those fundamentals in me in this journey. And I got a remote closing job. I got it. And I said, I'm going to go all in on myself. I'm going to train and I'm going to do everything I can to be the best that I can. Because what I had done previously is I had become one of the best at dating. I was so good at communicating with women. I was so good at training my clients on how to communicate with women, how to lead, how to create relationships. And that was what I had built my journey on. But now I had nothing left because my business failed. So now it was like, I need to go all in on one thing. And I'm going to explain to you how this applies to you in a second. And what was interesting is this was really rough at first. It was bad. It was really rough. But for me, it was either mastery or it was failure. I didn't have an in between. There was no middle option. It was either mastery, I'm going to completely win and I'm going to conquer this and I'm going to dominate this and I will win and I will have success, or I'm going to suffer failure. That was it. There was no middle ground to me. It wasn't like, oh, well, we'll do okay. I'll stay afloat. It was either mastery and I'm going to literally become the best, or I'm going to go through failure. That was it. There was nothing else. So here's what I'll tell you. And I chose mastery out of those two options. What I'm going to tell you is this, my friend. If you want to become top 1%, there's 3 non-negotiables that you have to have. 3 non-negotiables, 3 things that you have to do correctly. 3 things that you have to do fully. There are 3 non-negotiables. There's no way around it. You have to do these 3 things. The first thing is you have to obsess over the process. That's number 1. You must obsess over the process. You have to obsess over being perfect. You need to do everything nearly perfectly all the time. That 16,000 that we made in July that I showed you, that 6,000, that 8,000, that 14,000 that I just showed you on my phone, the proof that I showed you, the reason why I was able to be in that position and set myself up for this kind of success. And by the way, I didn't even show you my commissions. I could show you my commissions on my personal accounts. In my personal accounts, there's months where I'm making 10K, months where I hit 15K, hit more than that one month. Like, I made cash. The reason I was able to do this and set myself up for a multi-six-figure year, which we're on track to do right now, the reason I was able to set myself up for that is because I committed myself to mastery of the process and mastery of how the game is done, how the skill set is done, sales. So I didn't half-ass, and I obsessed over the process. I religiously trained so intensely that I would literally become perfect in sales. And this is part of the game. If you want to make a lot of money, you need to do everything nearly perfectly all the time in your skill set. And this specifically applies to sales pros. If you're getting into sales and you want to make a bunch of money, you who are working with me in Quantum Level Pro, if you're in my training program, you know that I'm like this, and you know how accurate I am when I train you. You know when you guys ask me questions, if you're in my program or if you're in our community, or even our free community, and you've seen me train, you know how obsessed I am over perfection. How I'm like, you must be perfect. It has to be perfect. You cannot get it wrong. The reason is because perfection leads to greatness. Perfection will lead to greatness because most people will cut corners. Most people will do a half-ass job. That 70%, actually not even 70, that 90% of people that I told you who are below average or just average, do you know why they're average? Because they're okay with mediocrity. They're okay with making mistakes. They're okay with being average. Those people who rise to the top and who are amazing, They're a perfectionist. Now, I'll tell you this, perfectionist doesn't mean that you wait to be perfect before you take action. It does not mean that. To be clear, it does don't get me wrong here. I'm not telling you that before you can do any sales or before you can start that business, before you can pursue your future and have the dreams that you want to have, I'm not telling you that you need to be perfect. But what I am telling you is that relentless pursuit of perfection is what will lead you to success. You hear me? Relentless pursuit of mastery over the process, perfection, moving towards a standard of excellence in your life, a standard of excellence in your process, a standard of excellence for who you will be. Yes, perfection. Yes, mastery of the process. That is where the cash is going to come from. That's where the freedom is going to come from. Okay? This is why I make tens of thousands every single month. This is why I'm making the big bucks. This is why. I can't remember the last month where I haven't made $10,000. I cannot. I mean, it was last year. Okay, so when I say I can't remember, I'm saying that kind of colloquially, like I'm not. I can remember it, but it's been a minute since I haven't made $10,000. And the reason it's been like this is because I've prioritized perfection, and now I train other people on how to do sales perfectly. And the reason I can train other people on how to do sales perfectly is because I've done it perfectly. And I demonstrate this. I walk this walk. I'll put my calls on YouTube. I will show you my calls. I show you my calls on YouTube. I show my clients my calls. I show my calls openly. In fact, that's my main marketing thing. If you click one of our links and you go to my group or you click one of my funnels, it goes, the first thing you see is look at my calls. We're about to run ads right now. Do you know what my ads are going to go to? Check out my calls. I'm going to show you me doing it. I have nothing to hide. And I am one of the best in this game at handling objections, at leading. And I will take that to my grave. I will say that openly, right? And the reason I say that is because I choose perfection and I chase perfection. I love and I obsess over the process. Step number 2. Here's the second step. Most people get this wrong. You have to train relentlessly. You don't have to do it, but if you want success, if you want to be like me or better than me, which I want you to be, I want to be better than me now. If you want to be like that, you need to train relentlessly, okay? Train relentlessly means that there's a period that you're going to have to go through where you will sacrifice in your present. You will sacrifice your enjoyment. You will sacrifice your momentary feelings of pleasure, your feelings of comfort. You will have to sacrifice in your present to get to the goals that you want to have in your future. Remember this, my friend. There's a period where you must sacrifice in your present to get to the goals that you want in your future. Okay, there's a book that I love, that I live by, Atomic Habits. I've only read the book one time, and that was all I needed. I might read it again soon, but I've read Atomic Habits one time by James Clear, and this book talks about this. Atomic Habits is such a deeply powerful book, and I implemented the things I learned in this book very quickly. When I read a book, I tend to implement the things very fast. The only book that I think I've really read probably multiple times would be The Power of Now, and that I've only read twice. Generally, when I read a book that really speaks to me and that sits with me and that sits in my soul, I'll read it once, and all I need is one time. Because after I read it once, I journal on it, I take notes, and I implement it into my life, and I'm good to go. Maybe I'll read some notes from it, but I won't read the book multiple times. But Atomic Habits is one of those books that I would say keep inside of your Rolodex or your mental library of knowledge. Atomic Habits by James Clear. He talks about this, how what you're doing when you're creating habits is you're sacrificing in your present, you're making sacrifices now that are going to lead to you having a better future, and this is the game. This is the success, right? Every single day that you sacrifice and every single day that you train is a day that you're investing in your future. I want you to remember this. Every single day that you sacrifice right now and every single day that you train is the day you're investing in your future. Inside of our training program, Quantum Level Pro, which I'm not telling you to buy here, I have nothing to sell you. This is the paid program that I have. You can't buy it from this video. The only thing you can do here is come into my free group. So if you want to, look at what I do, come learn from me for free. I train people for free every Thursday, and then the link to that is below. But inside of my paid program, our mastermind group that we have, Quantum Level Pro, our training program, I train the guys 5 times a week. We train 5 days a week. Guys and girls, I should say now. We train 5 days a week. We train Monday, we train Tuesday, we train Wednesday, we train Friday, we train Saturday. In fact, right after this video, I'm going to go train. I'm going to go train them. The reason is because training is the representation of the dedication to mastery. What do fighters do? Fighters who want to be top 1%, the best of their game, the people in the UFC, people in Bellator, people, whatever league you look at. What do? How often do they train in a camp? They're training daily. They're training daily, maybe 6, 7 days out of the week, resting for health reasons and to reset for recovery, but they're not resting just, I want to take time off because I need balance. Oh, I need a little bit of balance. When I went through my time of hell, I call it my hell period, the hell months. When I went through my time of hell in 2023, which was right after everything crashed and I lost everything, and I was at like less than $500 to my name. The 100 I showed you in the business account was one piece of what I had, and then of course there was some stuff personally that I had. That was it. No savings, nothing. A little bit that I invested into a coaching program that I had nothing left. Um, Me going through that phase, I went through hell when I trained. Like I went through fucking hell. I was role playing, like doing sales mock calls at 2 a.m. What I was doing is I was either taking calls, I was doing mock calls, or I was on training sessions from my mentor from the coaching program that I was in. That was it. Like that was what I was doing during that period of time. It was intense. It didn't feel good. I must say I loved those times. I missed the grind. I love that. Now I still grind, but it's different now. Now I have flexibility. I have security, so it's a little bit different. But I had to grind. Like those times weren't easy. Me and my girl didn't go out and do a date for like 5 months. It was tough. I was getting all kinds of hair growing and stuff. I got I think 2 haircuts over the span of 4 or 5 months. At minimal money coming into the account, getting smacked and destroyed on sales calls, just getting beat up on sales calls. It was tough times, but I'm so grateful for that experience. I'm so grateful for that reality that I was able to go through because every day that I sacrificed, every day that I trained was me investing into who I am now and who I'm going to be next year, who I'm going to be in 5 years. Right? That's part of the game. The third point, the third principle, and that this leads into the third one is you have to be willing to go through pain, my friend. You have to. The game isn't won without pain. When it gets rough, you have to keep going. Like anything you want that's good in life, the best things in life are gonna come with pain. You know what's so funny? It's interesting. There's a lot of people who hate on kids or people who come from money. I didn't come from money. My dad did well for himself in business. First, he started off like working a job where he was making pennies on the dollar, like not doing well at all. We lived in the ghetto in Brooklyn, and then my dad ended up building a company, did relatively well. We moved to what I like to say the smallest house in the biggest neighborhood, like the fanciest neighborhood. We moved to the smallest house, and my father showed me that work ethic. But we never had an excess, simple, one car in the family, a basic car, like a nice Honda CRV was what we had. And my dad did well, but I never came from much. I came from relatively humble beginnings, growing up in the ghetto in Brooklyn, and then having a small house in New Jersey. So what's interesting is my father and a lot of people I know, not him, but people I know will always kind of hate on people who come from money, like kids. My dad doesn't do that, but people who hate on money or will hate on people who come from money. I know a lot of people like this, and it's so interesting because there's two kinds of people I see who come from money. The people who come from money who are okay going through pain and want to go through pain, and they want to find and seek pain and push themselves through pain. And then I know people who come from money who shrink away from pain. And it's so funny because the people who come from money, I know some of these guys. I live in a very wealthy neighborhood in Budapest where there's a lot of very successful people. Hungarian celebrities, athletes, politicians. I live in a neighborhood surrounded by a lot of those people and environments like that here in Hungary. And what's very interesting is you see these two kinds of people. You see the young guys who just have everything handed to them. You can see the way they walk, they talk, in their eyes. There's something missing. There isn't this hunger. There isn't this desire to go to war, or to fight, or to accomplish anything. And then you see, on the other hand, the people who have money but are hustling. You can see they're in the grind. You can see they want to win. You can feel it from them. You can hear it in the way they talk. It's what's funny is it's not about money. It's not about like where you start, if you have money or not. What it's about is your willingness to go through pain. And the people who have the most success, the people who are the people who push our world forward and drive our world forward, are the people who are willing to confront pain, go through pain, and see what comes out on the other side. Because on the other side is success. So this is the question. Like, you can either frame your pain and the struggle you're about to go through as, it's painful, I'm going to give up because I want things to be easy and cushy for me. That's one way. Or you can frame it as, this pain is me competing with myself. This pain is me proving to myself and proving to those around me that I'm going to be the best. And that's how I see pain, right? Like, I fucking love pain. But we're about to go through a really heavy launch period in our business. We're building something really cool right now. And I'm building Miro charts and shit, like flow charts. It's not fun at all. I don't enjoy building whiteboards and charts and figuring out who to hire and mapping out finances. Like, it's not fun running a business. I'm being genuine. I don't enjoy running a business, but I love the game and I like being better than everyone. That's the thing that fuels me. You need to figure out what fuels you. I don't know what fuels you, but whatever fuels you, part of your game is going to be pain. Like, it's going to be pain. In order to be one of the best at sales that I know, the best person that I know at sales, I don't know anyone personally who's better than me at selling. That's crazy. Like, I'm in the sales space and I don't know any sales professional that is better than me at selling. I will say that. No one that I've spoken to, there's mentors I've learned from, of course, that I respect, and I think they're on a whole different level, but I don't know them. Like, I'm not hanging out with them. There's no sales professional that I know, that I'm around, that I've talked to, that I've gotten to know, that I believe is better than me. I will say that as a fact. But the reason I'm able to say that is because I earned it through a fuck ton of pain, through a fuck ton of being on call after call after call after call, taking like 6, 7 calls a day and getting absolutely smacked around and smashed for months, and then earning my stripes and being in a position where I knew for a fact I was the best because I was making the money and then helping other people make money. Right? Your motivation to keep going needs to be stronger than your motivation to give up. Take that home. Your motivation to keep going needs to be stronger than your motivation to give up. That's what's going to lead to you having success. That's what's going to lead to the freedom. If your motivation to keep going through the pain is stronger than your motivation to give up, you will create the future that you want to have and the future that you want to manifest and to see in your life, where you are making money, where you are bringing in cash, where you are bringing in freedom. That future absolutely will be something that will come true. It absolutely will be. And there's no question about that, my friend. Okay, that's it. I have nothing to sell you, as always. As I always say, if you want to work with me and train with me, you can come in for free. Come in for free and join Quantum Level. The school group we have is down below. Down below, go to Quantum Level. Just request to join. Answer the questions with how much money you're trying to make this year. What are you working on? Like, are you selling things? And something I'll tell you is, I see a lot of people who want to be in sales, um, and they say, no, I'm here for self-mastery. A lot of those people I don't even approve in the group, because if you want to get into sales and you tell me you're not coming into the group to get into sales, but you're here for self-mastery, I ask that question as a test. Like, I'm telling you straight up, if you answered the question, no, I'm not in sales and I'm here for self-mastery, but you want to get into sales, it shows me your mind's not in the right place. You should be speaking and thinking like you're a salesman already. Yeah, I'm in sales. Yeah, I'm getting into sales right now. I'm here because I want to get into sales, right? That's the game. Okay, so request to join the group if you want a bunch of free stuff. You can look at my entire roadmap for how I close sales, how I made money in sales. I break down everything. I show you my calls inside the group. There's a whole bunch of support there. There's a whole amazing community of great people we've got inside. And it's free to join. There's no risk to you. Just join, and all I ask is your time and respect. If you come in, respect the people who are putting in work and come up and train with us once a week on Thursday. That's it. All right. Blessings. Take care. I will see you on the next one. It's always great to talk to you here. And let's keep pushing. Let's keep rolling. There's a lot of money to be made and a lot of success to be had. Take care.